But what makes me feel good is when I go to the doctor, and I want everybody to understand too, you're gonna feel so much better when you go to the doctor and y'all have a good, and they do your vitals, and your vitals are good, and your vitals are even lower than they were previously. Do you know how good that feeling is, internally? Not, never mind what the doctor think, but what you thinking internally. You'll be like, I did this. And so I
Yes.
want everybody to know that you can do it. It's now, do you want to do it all the time? Absolutely not. Because I mean, I always laugh, people always laugh at me, and they say, oh, you like to cook? I said, do I like to cook? No, not really. Absolutely not. I mean, but do I like to save money? Absolutely, I do.
Marcia, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you so much for coming on. I reached out to you a couple days ago and you're like, I'm in. The next day I saw that you scheduled and you are ready to show people your passion about what you're doing. And I feel like a lot of people, including the listeners of the show, can really benefit from your story and your passion. So welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me. So I'm just on here. I'm really glad to be on. Although I don't have an autoimmune disease, but it's just really modifying your whole diet and your way of thinking, your way of eating. In 2009, I had an epiphany and a Dr. Phil moment. And I said, how is this working for me? I was so fat, I could barely get up the steps. I mean, I could hear my knees cracking. I mean, like literally, I was hearing my knees cracking. I was tired, out of breath. Only thing I wanted to do, was just, sleep. I mean, everything was poor. I made the antacid companies so rich and the laxative companies rich. I could have had stock. I could have been rich in the stock. And that's how much I was buying from not taking care of myself. But I was very fortunate to be in the program. It was a 16-week program. They said if you lose 20% of your body weight, you can stop the onset of hypertension, diabetes, and the like. So I said, you know what? And it was of no financial cost. The only thing it cost me was 16 weeks of subscribing to the program. And I went and I said, they gave everybody a book you have to do a food diary every week. And I'm like, why do I have to do a food diary? I don't want to do a food diary. It's invading my rights and other, but I saw the difference in doing a diary. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I was violated. It was a help because we had to put down the time we ate and what we ate and how many fat grams, because everything was based on fat grams. Because I was on a 50 fat gram a day diet. I said, okay. So when I was reaching a plateau, and I know everybody gets discouraged, even in lifestyle modification, you reach a plateau, you're like, oh my God, I'm not doing it. But yes, you are. Everybody's body stops for a minute and then it resets. Everybody, you have to stop and you have to reset. So I was getting with my dietitians and I'm like, what I'm not doing. I said, I'm trying. I said, I'm doing everything. She said, no, you do everything right. But she just tweaked a little bit. She said, you need to eat a little bit more because when I was busy, you know how we get busy, we don't eat. So you do have to eat something like so many hours. Anyway, she showed me how to make those modifications. And I did, and I kept it going. But like we were talking earlier before we came on live, I didn't want to take medicine because medicine is supposed to make you feel good. And with all these side effects, medicine is not really making you feel good. And if anybody has seen the commercials on TV, you see all the disclaimers. I'm like, geez, I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. And I know everybody with people with autoimmune deficiency or any other type of diseases, you ought to want to do things that are more non-traditional, where East meets West. Because some things you do have to do. We're not saying you don't need a doctor because that's kind of unrealistic, but we can actually meet East meets West. You could do both, be successful. For me, I would like to be on a more non-traditional side of less medication. And like you said, that is modifying your diet. And I say, even when you modifying your diet, you have to put in the work because I bet you I mean, you would think it's simple, but you have to really kind of know food labels and what's good for you and what you're allergic to and what you're not allergic to, because you sometimes people even have food allergies, while you're going along, but kind of know what you're allergic to. And for me, the reason why it has worked, and it can work for you too, because you have to meal prep. Meal prep is key. Meal prep is like, I sit here when I get on the road, I'm just like Martha Stewart. I'm cooking a whole bunch of stuff all at one time. I'm cooking like 4 to 5 meals, because what I'll do, I'll level everything cool off, and then I'll put them in freezer bags or in prep. And then I'll label them, and I will put them in the refrigerator. Then you can just grab and go. Because especially if for you who have children, meal prep is key anyway. You could make an appointment. You should do two things as far as your appointments for yourself: an appointment to exercise and your mindset and your meditation, whatever you enjoy doing, and make an appointment to meal prep. Just block it off. It's key. Get get it going. You can meal prep. You can say, Sunday, I'm a meal prep from like maybe 12 to 4, I'm going to meal prep. Get it together. Then you could meal prep for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe you can treat yourself if you want to go out. Because if you really think about it, though, if you go out, you're spending so much money on DoorDash and Uber Eats. And I'm like, by the time you spend all those fees in Uber Eats and DoorDash, you could have gone to the grocery store and at least bought a week worth. I mean, I'm certain you could at least buy a week's worth of groceries. So if you in this right there, what you're spending every month on going out and DoorDash and eating and all of that. And what I do, what works for me, is that I keep snacks in the car too, like healthy snacks. I do like little packs of almonds and different, different things that are healthy, because sometimes we want to go. And even those who had the babies, keep little snacks in the car, like them little multi packs. Here you go, baby. Here you go. Here's a snack. So then that way, that won't have you making that U-turn to McDonald's or BK or Chipotle or wherever you enjoy your casual dining, because that's saving so much money. Exercise. People do not even know, and people say, "Oh my God, I can't afford a gym and all that." You don't need no gym. You could use your God. You could use your natural. You could use what's given to you, your hands and your feet. Get outside, start walking with your children, walking with your pets. You gotta take the dog out. Most of y'all probably have dogs, fur babies, as y'all call them. Most people on this platform probably have fur babies. So you're taking people out anyway. Get your walk on, get your exercise on. Go on YouTube. I mean, it's so much, it's like zero excuses for you not to work out. I have a good friend who has MS. She's like my sister. And she didn't want to. I said, why don't you try yoga for MS patients? I don't want to do that. So I said, I tell you what, try water classes. So she signed up for water aerobics, and it's like a drug. She cannot get enough of water aerobics. So now she's doing, water aerobics. But of course, when COVID happened, they all the pools were closed for a while. So I saw something on TV that Georgetown University Hospital is doing. They're doing exercises for MS patients, and they took it virtual. So I signed her up. So now she does that every Tuesday. And I'm like, everything's like sitting down, but she's still moving. And she's been getting so much from that. So I always tell people, you have to, and then with that too, you have to be, to me, I like to surround myself with people with like minds, because sometimes everybody not where you are. Girl, why you doing that? Chad, why you doing that? No, because you need to be around people, whether it be, your posse, your circle, your autoimmune circle, because the goal is, to share ideas and to grow and to be better. Am I not right about that?
Oh, you are 100% right. Absolutely. And surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do or is already doing it. So they're modeling for you, and you get that reminder every day. This is possible. We can make a difference in our health.
For sure. And then what you want too, you want an accountability partners. Trust me. When it's like they say, where you at? Because if I miss a class, where you at? Where you been? So when everybody's away, everybody's reports. Okay, I'm not gonna be here tonight. I gotta work like if something happens or whatever. But you're not gone for so long. But if you're gone for so long, that's a phone call or a text. Where you at? You good? Whatever. But for me, and I'm lucky because I live in the District of Columbia, so I'm very, very fortunate. I am going to shout out the DC Department of Parks and Recreation because they actually saved my life with especially with the fitness component. So our mayor Muriel Bowser and our previous mayor Adrian Fenty decided that they didn't want money to be a deterrent for staying well. So all the weight rooms are free, the swimming pool, all the aquatic facilities are free,
That's awesome.
and all the fitness classes are free, with the exception of aqua classes, which are they so numbers like it's free. So I just take advantage of all the programs they have them throughout the city, throughout. Then they do like little pop-up stuff like on Friday night, Saturday morning. You can bring the babies. I mean, they have stuff for everybody. They have things for cradle to grave. It's things for everybody. So if you don't want to be by yourself, bring the children. Because they like when you bring the children, the different stuff. It's just so many different things that we can do. So I'm definitely going to give them a shout out because they, like I said, they actually helped me a lot. Because who could really afford a gym membership? If you really think about people's finance, you got to think about that whole gambit. And food. Where do I shop at? Everybody, I know, luckily where we live at in the DC metro area, we have a plethora of grocery store we can go to. I can go from anywhere from Aldi, Lidl, Hearst, Teeter, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Giants, Safeway, Albertsons, whomever. So I'm all the international markets. And like I tell people all the time, and I say, if you really try, and I said, plus even with the autoimmune diseases, correct me if I'm wrong, losing weight kind of can lower their medicine. Is that correct?
It definitely, absolutely, it can. And also when you start making dietary changes and exercising, a lot of times you find that it's inflammation that you're losing. It's not just fat, it's inflammation. So, and that's what all chronic diseases are, is it stems from inflammation.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Yes, it does. And then people don't even really, realize that what just the little changes. And I'm telling people all the time, I'm vegan, but they say, oh my God, how you be vegan? But I didn't become vegan. I didn't wake up and say I'm going to be vegan today.
Mm.
It was a process. When I went on this journey, I wasn't even intending on being a vegan. But for me personally, meat was making me tired. I was feeling it in my chest. It was just like when I was eating chicken and stuff, it was making me like, it was too much. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to stop eating meat and not to start eating meat every other day. And then every 2 days, and then every 3 days, and et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera, until I totally gave up meat altogether. So I said, well, let me just try to go meatless. So I did that for about 9 months. I said, nah, let me go back to just fish. So I went pescatarian for 3 years. Then I said, you know what? 2017, I'm just going to take the plunge. I'm just going to go plant-based. But again, it was a process. I just didn't start and say, oh my God, no, but it was a process. And I tell people all the time, you have to know that success is a process.
Yes.
It's not instant. You're not gonna, and I tell people all the time, what's your inspiration? I said, don't get discouraged, because sometimes if you discouraged, if it's not going just the way, according to your plan, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, it's not going to my, it's going. Maybe it's not going as fast as you want it, but it's going, you know what I mean? It's going to your time. So I just tell
Yes.
people too.
Yeah, and it's getting rid of that perfectionism. And because when you're trying to do everything at once and making it perfect, you'll get overwhelmed and then you won't do it at all. And what you're saying is it's also baby steps. It's a little bit at a time and you will get there. Just think about how long it got you to where you are in your health. Like if you're not feeling well right now, how long did it take you to get there? It didn't happen overnight. So you have to, when you start these changes and this healing process, you have to give yourself grace and patience, because it will not happen overnight, but it will happen if you keep doing it. I mean, Marcia here, she's doing it. She's been doing it for quite some time, and she's here today. She looks really, really good. So for those of you that are not watching on YouTube, she's looking really good. And I could tell in her the way that she talks, the passion in her that she has for this is working. And Marcia knows that she's worth it. And doing this is making her a better person.
Yeah, and everybody on this platform, you're worth it too. I mean, because you're going to get up and say, "Oh my God, I feel so much better." And I think once you go through the like, even the losing weight and cutting back on your intake, you'll be like, "I feel really good." I mean, you're not tired. I'm not even as tired as I used to be. I mean, because I mean, Kathy said I had an injury of 12 people. I mean, but it's just that I'm not as tired, as I was, because like you said, I'm really mindful. And I tell people all the time, I actually get my rest. I don't play that. Some things is not even negotiable. Getting my rest is like that's a must. You have to be functional, you have to be present, and you have to be ready. And I say, even if you have children, even if you have like family situations, and I think everybody could get into the practice of doing things, even if you would like changing your dietary habits. Everybody could benefit from that, because you don't have to make 2 or 3 meals. Because I look, if I had a family, look, y'all gonna eat what I eat, you ain't gonna eat, because I'm not making 2 or 3 meals. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And what's going to happen is you're gonna see the changes, in your family. Be like, damn, everybody is good. Your baby's going to feel better. Your spouses, everybody's going, your significant other, everybody's going to really feel better and benefit from it and learn from it. And I think what's going to be really good for me, when I first started my journey back in 2009, I just want everybody on this platform to know, this is the first time in my life. I am 59 years old. This is the first time in my life that I've actually kept the weight off. Like this is the first time I've actually been able to manage and maintain my weight through my lifestyle modification, because I've just found that I actually enjoy my lifestyle. I do now. I actually schedule myself. People who know me say, "Oh my God, we know where you going." When I leave work, I have on my clothes, and we going, where you going today, Miss Lee? You going this place? You going? I'm going somewhere. Even if I'm not going to a like a class, I go to the park, because we just so blessed to be in the DC area where we have so many places to walk. I don't like to walk in my community because I like to see nature and scenery. And I think if you get out with your family and your friends, y'all can start a group. You don't have to be by yourself. Just get a couple of your buddies. Come on, let's get this walk situation going on. Y'all can, that's a good time too. I have met so many good people through walking and talking and chatting, and you'd be surprised how you have more in common than not. Just in general. And then you find that next thing you know, by the time you look at your watch, if you set your smartwatch for the timing, you would have walked 3 to 4 and 5 miles without even knowing that you have walked 3 to 4. You know what I mean? That you now haven't even walked that far. And then you getting some sense of girlfriendship, you getting a sense of community, and then it's just better. And then even for me, I try to walk. I'm glad it's getting darker lately, because I can actually step it up. I can actually go walking, but I was kind of sad when it got dark at 5 o'clock, and because I don't work from home, so I had to do it whenever I could. But anyway, and I work on weekends. But with that being said, now it's getting darker later. I can actually, come home and walk a little bit. I could change my clothes, go down to the park, do about 3 to 4 miles. Just depending on when it gets dark. And like I say, even with the autoimmune thing, and check this out, you wouldn't even notice the model. It's like the less medicine that you buying, you could take that money and go on vacation. I mean, for real though. And then who don't want to go on a vacation? Who don't want to go like out on a nice vacation with your family? If you say, look, if I get with this program, and I'm good, and I'm saving a rack of money, and medicine is so expensive along with the co-pays. God forbid if you don't have health insurance, and that's a whole nother topic, but you know what I'm going with this. If you could save money by now, oh my God, I could go out. And you look at your bike out, you be like, oh, we could take like a little staycation, we could like a hotel, we could do something more, because you actually saving money.
You're saving money and time, because now you're healthier, so you don't have to go to the doctors all the time.
Yes. And you know what? And another thing about going to the doctor, and I bet you everybody on this platform, which we're live, who raise your hand, who get tired of hearing the same thing from your doctor? And it's like too, and for those who are taking medicines for your before your diseases, please take the medicine. Seriously. Because the bottle doesn't say take it when you feel like it. It really doesn't.
Mm,
And I think sometimes the model was brand number one, if it's brand new, people are scared. Seriously, because it's
yeah,
a new thing.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Somebody told me, well, people can Google. Well, honey, this is a real life Google. I'm telling you how it is. This is Google this is real
yeah.
Google. This is real talk. But and I know medicines do give you side effects. I mean, I'm not unrealistic, but if it does, that's a conversation that you need to have with your medical professional. Look,
Mm-hmm.
this ain't working. This is making me feel, and keep your journal.
Yes.
Keep your journal, how you doing, how you feel, and keep a journal. Today I'm good, today I'm bad. So then when you go to the doctor, you can actually show him, because people, quietness is not kept. When you go to the doctor with your little book, your little paperwork, you get more credit. Doctors give you more credibility.
Because they know you're
Because
doing it.
yeah, because if you go and say, well, I don't know, and then you have to be able to, the same way we having this conversation organic,
Yep.
you should be having the same conversation with your medical professional organic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I teach on this in this podcast is your doctor is not your dictator. They're your partner. So
Mhm.
you go to your doctor and say, I want to do this. I don't like this. This
Mhm.
is what's going on. If you have any questions, I have my phone right here. I have on my the notebook app. When I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, this is not working. I'll write that question down and have it accumulated for when I go to the doctor, so that your time is spent well, because you have everything in line and you're ready to go.
And a lot of people don't realize too, depending on what type of insurance you have or what medical professional, they really don't allocate a lot of time to see patients.
No, nope.
So you really have to be ready. And
Yep.
especially if you are with the different diseases and different things and your medicine, you have to really be ready and say, doctor, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
What are your suggestions? Because like you said, it's supposed to be like a two-way street, and not just he or she talking. Like you said, it is, and it's like we having this conversation. This how I should flow with the doctor. When I
Yeah.
go to the doctor, it flow. They be saying, Miss Lee, you a mess. You know what? Because I just go because I don't have time, because I'm advocating for myself. And I'm saying that because so many people don't have that. And I say, if then I always tell people too, if you have a concern or you have a fear going by yourself, take somebody with you.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't want anybody, from my lips to your ears, please do not, please raise your hand and ask if you need help. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because you'd be surprised how many people do not mind, but closed mouths don't get fed. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Nope.
Let them know. Let them know. Would you mind can you be on my virtual call, with the doctor? Everybody's doing things virtual in there. Would you mind being on the virtual call? And then, they could maybe pick up some things you didn't pick up, and just be ready.
Yes.
And don't be scared.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Don't be scared. Come, because that fear right there increases your cortisol, and that cortisol creates inflammation, and then it's that stress that is causing all this to begin with. And
Mhm.
oh my gosh, Marcia, this whole time that you are talking, you are dropping so much wisdom on everyone, and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Like, but you just keep going, and it's like everything that you are saying is spot on. Just because if you don't have an autoimmune, it doesn't matter. This is for everyone. Like your friend, she has MS. That is autoimmune, and so you're helping her out. And then you're talking about meal prep. That is everything. Absolutely, you have to set yourself up for success so that you don't put yourself in a situation where you get hungry and then you cave and then you eat something else. And just like what you said with children, we as parents, we have snacks for our children because we know that they need to be fed. Don't forget about yourself. You need a snack too if you're out and about. And just like so much that you just said, it's like, yes, it's very, very good information. So keep going.
Definitely. And then, everybody talk about the physical, but how many of your autoimmune colleagues are going to the dentist.
Mm.
Because you know what? Because if you're not getting proper oral care, that's going to mess with your physical health.
Mm.
And the only time people go to the dentist is when they have a toothache or something is wrong. Well, going to the dentist is like getting a tune-up. You go every 3,000 miles, you go get maintenance, and then you're good. Because that's why you go to the dentist. And I think I'm probably the only one ever out of all my friends and family who actually like going to the dentist, because I just they call me $1 million mouth. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, because I go to the dentist, and I go to the dentist because for me, our family has a history of or health disease. So I want to be on top of that. Do you understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I
Oh
want to make
yeah.
sure I'm good. So I'm not going to be sitting back, because just think about it. If I spend a few hundred or like complimentary, it depends on my dental insurance, and I get my teeth clean, I'm good by, you good. But what if I keep waiting and waiting and waiting? And then if I have an autoimmune on top of bad oral care, that's double money. Because if you have
Yeah.
to get, if you just think about the financials. Let me just swing it back again. This close your eye subliminal. If I take care of myself on the back end, I could go on fabulous vacations. I could be with my friends and family. I could do pop-up trips. I can have pop-up events because I have the extra money. I could take my kids, to where they want to go. If they want to go to Disney World, I have a few dollars to do that. Or if my friends want to, if my babies want to go, something extra that you couldn't afford otherwise, you're able to do that. How does that sound? This marinate that. Just think about just one at a time. Just think extra money, extra money, extra money. I'm going to make sure I get my medical appointments. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna communicate with my doctor. But make sure I'm gonna get on a plan. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna have less medicine. I'm going to save so much money because I'm not taking so much medicine. I always say when I used to be a plus, let me tell you about when I was big, I used to wear size 22 and 24. I said, now I'm so glad I wear numbers now, not alphabets. You hear me? Because everything was like a WP or P, women's petite, women's plus petite. It was just an alphabet. Now I'm a number. It is good to be a number. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was good to be a number. And then when my clothes started getting big, my clothes got big so fast, I was tripping over my pants. I mean, it was like, what? I said, oh my God. But everybody was asking me, what are you doing? And I said, you know what? And I think too, though, a lot of people just don't want to put in the work. You have to be doing all this is a job. It's like an unpaid job. Think about that though. It's an unpaid job. You're doing what you're doing, and it's like, okay, it's unpaid. I'm not getting paid, but you are getting paid.
I just thank you. I was just gonna say, but you are.
You just can't look. You just can't see it on the front end, but you are getting paid. It's like, oh my God, this thing, all the good benefits on the back end. Take it away. Yes.
Yep. And wow. So what I'm gathering from your story is you have found that you're worth it. You don't want to live. You said you were tired. It was hard for you to go up the stairs. You could hear your knees cracking. You have um, genetics in your family of certain diseases, that these diseases are lifestyle diseases. So you, just because it's in your DNA does not mean that gene is going to be expressed. It does not mean you will have that. If you live the same life as your family that has these diseases, then yes, you will get it. But if you change your lifestyle, you won't have these diseases. And so it sounds like that you knew your worth, you knew that you wanted better for yourself, and you sound like you're feeling good in your body right now. What kept you going? Like, so you kind of spoke a little bit about, why you made changes, but for people out there who are like, I want that, but it's not for me, or that's too hard, I can't do it. What was your biggest motivator? What keeps you going? And what was that moment that made that light bulb in your head, like, no, I need to make changes?
Again, for me, and it's funny. The funny thing about it was I was taking one of my carpools home. I take my carpool home, and I went past the rec center near my house. They had a big sign saying free fitness classes. So yeah, I said when I drop it off, I'm gonna make a U-turn. Well, I did, and I made a U. And I dropped it off, I made a U-turn back in the city because she lived in the suburbs, and I made a U-turn back in the city. And I saw the flyer about the weight management program. It was like, oh my God. It was like, how would you like if you lose 20% of your body weight? Excuse me, you could stop the onset of diabetes, hypertension, all of that. Let me tell y'all on this platform right now, honey, our family pick up everything but money. No, I didn't want, I had just decided that day I was done. I didn't want to subscribe to that. I didn't want to, be in that mode. So it was a sheet. It said, please call this number. Let me tell y'all, I was on that phone every day like I went with her. I was tracking her down. I just kept hitting me. I said, I'm going to get in this program. I'm going to get in this program. Anyway, I got in the program. It was 16 weeks, 4 months. And like I said, first I had to do the food diary and all of that. I'm like, I don't want nobody to be on my business and why I got to keep a food diary and all of that. But, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, the food, everything is for a purpose. It's not like they're not there to harm you. They're here to help you. And I think no matter, you don't know, it really spans from a lot, because you'd be surprised if people trying to see that you're trying to do that journey. Some people are not going to be with you. They're going to do everything to stop you from being successful. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
But lucky for me that people say, oh my God, what are you doing? But I thought people was going to be on my bandwagon, but they weren't. Because I'm like, y'all see how much money I'm saving there because I'm not going to the doctor like that. You know what I mean? And I always had food. They said, you always bringing food. And then even we had food at work, I was eating, but it was in moderation. And, and I think, and I don't even say diet because it's not a diet. It's just a lifestyle modification. It is, read my lips with my lips to your ears. It is not a diet. It is a lifestyle modification. And I think over time you will find it be so easy. And, after a while, you ain't going to want what you used to eat. When I smell some food, it makes me sick. I mean, I said, what are they cooking? Jesus. I mean, seriously, some food, it makes me want to throw up. Because I said, I cannot do the smell. And, it's so, and, everybody, it's so many different types. I do all the different recipes on Insta and YouTube, and I get the email subscribe and Facebook and all of that. And, they make a lot, 90% of the stuff is idiot proof. It's not even hard. It's not hard. It's not expensive. I have really expanded my spice game. Look, my kitchen a mess. I got so much stuff going on. I need somebody, like you was doing your closet. I need somebody to come do my kitchen. Jesus.
I know.
Because it's just like it's like the spice game. The spice game is on. And like I said, we live in a good area where I go to the international market at least about 2 or 3 times a month. So when they don't have it in a regular store, I can just hit it at the international. And I've learned to cook really fun things. And you know what I do too? I used to actually post stuff to this group I belong to. And I said, if I'd have went in the street, this would have cost me $10. This cost me $1 to make. I mean, I think if people really start really just taking that into consideration, how much it costs in the street. Like I went out the other day, and I think my meal was like $7. I mean, I wasn't tripping off $7, but I'm thinking in my mind here, I could have made it for about 50 cents. You know what I mean? Just in my mind. So it's like, I'm thinking I could have did it for 50 cents, but even salads. And what kills me, and I say, everybody do not have to go outside and buy no $10 salad. I cannot do. When I see a salad is 10 to 12, let me go get my little salad prep. Get my situation. Then you can make it the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it vegan, vegetarian. I mean, you can do it anything. And I tell people, and like I tell people all the time, I said, try something once. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, because I tell my friends all the time, they don't want to be bothered with nothing vegan. That's a whole nother story. But I said, y'all just try it once. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I had people. I've made stuff for people that say, oh my God, we about to stalk you. This food is good. Yeah, I'm like, but I tell people all the time, vegan is food. It's food. It really is. It's food. They be like vegan food is out of space. I'm like, it's not out of space. Vegan food is vegan. I mean, vegan food is food. Vegan is food. It's just no dairy and no animal products. It is food. Do it look like I'm missing the beat? Do I look malnourished? Do I? Do I look like I don't get enough to eat? You know what I mean? Do I have to adjust my vitamins? Absolutely. I take B12 and
Yes.
calcium stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do that because I say, well, since you plant-based, go and rock and roll with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that, at the same time. But what makes me feel good is when I go to the doctor, and I want everybody to understand too, you're gonna feel so much better when you go to the doctor and y'all have a good, and they do your vitals, and your vitals are good, and your vitals are even lower than they were previously. Do you know how good that feeling is, internally? Never mind what the doctor think, but what you thinking internally. You'll be like, I did this.
Yes.
And so I want everybody to know that you can do it. Now, do you want to do it all the time? Absolutely not. Because I always laugh. People always laugh at me. And they say, oh, you like to cook? I said, do I like to cook? No, not really. Absolutely not. I mean, but do I like to save money? Absolutely, I do. Yesterday, I made I did my slow cooker. And I always tell people this is what you need when you start prepping. Instant Pot, I got that, but the Instant Pot is still in the box. Air fryer still in the box. You know what I use? My slow cooker.
Okay.
My crock pot. Yes. I did a whole big thing of beans yesterday. What I do, black beans. I had a moment. And when you go to Panera Bread in different places, they be wanting like $8 for a cup of soup. I'm like, are you kidding? What? You know what it cost me to make that? It cost me probably like $1, $2, probably like $3, maybe. Because I had to use the the stock, the broth and all that. And my mother gave me the bag of beans. They were free. She got them from her little food distro. And I had onions because she gave me those from the food distro. And I had carrots because she gave me those from the food distro. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I actually bought green peppers the other day, so I have those. But I tell people, if you're going to start prepping, keep your staples. For me, my staple is my Vitamix blender and my what you call that other thing, food processor. And you know what? The Vitamix blenders are costly. My mother said, I can't believe you spend a lot of money on a blender. I'm like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. But at the same time, I didn't use it at first, but when I started using it, it is worth every dime.
Yes.
Every dime. That I cannot live without a Vitamix blender. Like period. With a T. I cannot live without my blender. I cannot live without my spices. With my food situation. And then I make sure I have decent cookware. I know during COVID, everybody was when everything was on and open again, everybody was running, trying to find pots and pans and knives and dishes because everybody all of a sudden was home. They wasn't going out. Well, what were you doing before? This is This went to show you how much discretionary income was spent on nonsense.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that I'm just taking it all in because we are so similar. We're so similar in our way of thinking and the way that we do things. I mean, I'm not plant-based, but like you said, it's a lifestyle. And I feel like I'm going to move towards the plant-based, but right now, because how you spoke about earlier, you have to think about what you're allergic to. So I was not able to do plant-based because I wasn't able to, like a lot of the plant-based that has a lot of the protein caused inflammation in my body. So I had to, because before this, I didn't really eat that much meat. Not that I was, against it. It's just that I'll take a couple bites. I'm like, I'm good. I don't want any more of that. So that was a hard thing for me to add more meat because I wasn't getting it through. I still had my vegetables. It's just not the ones that had the majority of the protein. But now that I feel like my my body's changing and I'm getting healthier. I feel now I'm starting to cook more beans and lentils and stuff like that so that I could have a break from meat. I mean, I love fish. I'll do the fish all day long. So, but I want to go back to, you said that when I asked you what made you make these changes, and I want people to really listen to what you said. And you saw the signs. You were ready. You were in a place that you were ready, and these signs were coming at you, and you noticed them, and you followed the breadcrumbs. You went out of your way. You had to drop off your coworker. Is that who it was?
Yes.
So you had to go out of your way and make a U-turn and come back in. And you went inside. A lot of people are like, I don't have time for that, or I just don't feel like doing that. You got out of your vehicle, you turned around, you got in your vehicle, when you got in there, you saw more information. You're like, there's another sign. You took that. And at first it wasn't moving as fluid as you thought, but you had to keep, you said you hit redial over and over again. You weren't going to give up on yourself. And you kept going, and that's what you have to do, is advocate for yourself. And in your story, I hear the creativity that you had to use to make this happen for you, because people could say, oh, I don't have enough money, or it's too expensive, or it takes a lot of my time. You found ways to either find it for free or to change your mindset to be like, yes, this might be a lot in the grocery store, but how much am I going to spend if I eat out every day? How much am I going to spend when I'm going to the doctors all the time, on my medications? And how productive am I in my work, at work, if I'm tired and hurting all the time and I can't, you can't show up as your best self? You were able to see all this and you took it in, and that fueled you.
Yeah, again, that's where I was. It was like a Dr. Phil moment. How's that working for you? It's just,
How is that working for you?
but you know
Yes.
what? Like I tell everybody all the time, I say everybody has a different bottom. Some people,
Yes.
some people's bottom is unfortunate is at the end of life.
Oh man.
But
Yeah.
but my bottom was at that time in March
Yeah.
2009. I said, this is it. This is it. This is it. I just decided, when I signed for the program, I'm like, I'm good with this. I said, this is it. This is
Yes.
it. And we had a contest. Whoever lost the most weight and stuff, they got a digital scale and all of that. I was the only female that won.
Oh.
Because all the other three people were men. But I was like, whoa. But the lady who ran it, the facilitator, she bonded with me so well that I came back and volunteered in future classes.
Wow.
And she had me do an article and all that for their hospital newsletter and all of that. But it was just for me that I'm a type of person, when I'm in, I'm all in, and I'm an A student. I mean, I'm not a C. This is when I'm not a C student. Do you understand? This is when, know what? No, I got to, I have to do this because, and then the good part about it, I saw results. And like I tell people all the time, we used to always talk about, well, how you do when you go out? And trust me, I went out to eat and stuff during that time. I belonged to a wine group, and we had, stuff. But you have to always make adjustments and modify. If I knew I was going out, with my wine group in the evening, I just had to chill out in the daytime. You know what I mean? So it can balance, it balance out or whatever.
Yes.
But you just eat. And then when you go out, I mean, I always tell people, they say, don't you go out to eat? I'm like, yeah. And I said, trust me, let me let y'all know, nobody like a cocktail more than I do. But what you do though, you do, you do one or the other. You say, if I do a cocktail, I'm not gonna do dessert. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or should you decide to do a dessert, tell them to cut it in half and bring you 2 forks. I mean, seriously, because if you look at, this is what I do when I go out. I already know, for me, they give you a lot of food, some of these restaurants. And I say, when you bring my food, can you bring me a to-go tray?
Yeah.
I'm already putting food in the tray because
Mhm.
it's too much food. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
it stops you from overeating.
and then I have a meal for whenever. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? I said I can heat that up tomorrow, or the next
Yeah.
day, whatever. But this is what, this is what I learned to do. This is what I mean. I would like for it to work for everybody. Everybody is not going to be on subscription, and everybody is not going to be on this train. They not. You're
Mhm.
gonna have some people that get on. You're gonna have different levels of people. People gonna get on the train, and maybe it's 10 stops. You're gonna have people to get off at the first stop. They're gonna say, nah, this ain't even working. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have
Mhm.
some people, they're gonna halfway do it. They're gonna get off at 3. Then you got people, they're gonna be there to 5. And then you're gonna get some as maybe 7-ish. I'm like, those are the ones you be trying to get to stay to 10, but then they fall off for whatever reason. And then you maybe have a couple, maybe 1 or 2 that stay to 10. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we have to look at these numbers and say, you know what? This is kind of sad because you feel if you have 10 people, you at least want 6 or 7 to stay. And but I'm thinking of realistic where you get if you get if you keep even your group and your autoimmune groups, maybe everybody this ain't for me. But if it's 6 of you and 3 of you stay, that's 3 more than what you had.
Yeah. Yeah. That's key because started when I figured out a different way to start healing and not having to take medication, because medication is not healing, it's just masking the symptoms and keeping you stable and getting you comfortable. If that's what you need at that moment, then that's what you need. But when I actually started learning different ways to actually start healing, I was trying to tell everyone about it. And the people that I was telling, they weren't ready to hear it. And so that's what I had to learn is like, they're not ready. They're not ready. Well, if you're ready, I'm here. I'm here when you're ready. And you spoke about the rock bottom. You have to let people hit their rock bottom. You can't steal their rock bottom out from under them because they're never going to make changes and they're never going to learn.
But that's like with any addiction too.
Mm,
Like I tell people all the time, like this whole food thing and this eating and modifications is deep for me. And I'm doing this podcasting and getting out here, doing my thing because it's really touched me on a more personal note. My brother died March 4th, 2019. And
mm,
he uh Michael loved to eat, but we could not get him to, and he had a heart attack and all of that. He was compliant for like a minute. I mean, like a minute, seriously. And then he went back. And this is what I'm saying about the bottom. Unfortunately, his bottom came at the end. Do you
mm,
understand? He did it.
yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So I'm really doing this in homage and pay homage to him. And I had a brother who
Yeah.
died in 2010. So it's like, you know what? And then after my brother died, a good friend of mine's husband died. We got to my brother's funeral because he was on that same boat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he was a
Yeah.
diabetic and both of them were diabetics and all of that. And I'm like, you can't, I don't mean, like I said, autoimmune, whatever type of chronic illness, whatever you have, take your medicine. Like I said, if it's not, and I know who wants to really take medicine, but the medicine, I mean, like you said, or you're non-traditional. Like you said, just let somebody know what's happening. Because a lot of times people not let you know what's happening. And for me, like I said, on this journey, and for me, it felt good that I was finally doing something like that was good for me for a change. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, because you really think about all these situations, you really abusing the what out your body.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot from your joint, like you said, your mind, your everything. It just takes a lot. It just takes a lot. Your immune, it's just all that. It's just what's the word? It's absolutely draining. It's
Yeah.
absolutely draining. It's just like sucks the life out of you. And I tell my friends, do y'all keep wanting to live like this? Because I
Right.
say, y'all, I'm not trying to go to the doctor all the time for this nonsense because I'm not. I just go to the doctor once you just, get my vitals, make sure I'm good. But I don't have to go to the doctor because, oh my God, And then so many friends and my family members too have had strokes. And the first thing I say is y'all take your medicine, or even diabetes. I've known people had to get their I know amputees. I'm like, how they voting? I said, taking their medicine? Nope. I said, were they compliant? Nope. Because I already see, for me, I already know. I already know that most of these people were not compliant.
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all, you can't, I don't care what type of disease you got, you can't take your medicine, you cannot take your medicine when you feel like it. You cannot take your medicine when you feel like it. The Bible does say take it, whatever it says, take it. And if you have any questions about it, and when you go to the pharmacy, pick up your prescription, and they'll say, would you like to talk to the pharmacist? You say, yep. If you got a question, don't leave. That's why they did. Yep. Ask the pharmacist, because
Yes.
it's nothing wrong. I mean, because the dumb person is one who ain't asking when they don't know. I'm sorry. Because I can't. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that you have to, the message that I'm hearing you say is that you have to take care of yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to take care of yourself, and you got to know, you got to love yourself enough to know that you need to take care of yourself, whether it's taking your medication, eating right, exercising, all that good stuff. You have to know that you're worth it, and it's not I don't know what I correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is like, especially when you talked about the food journal, you felt violated, and you felt like you're being told what to do, or and people's, with their medication, well, they want to be defiant. Well, they told me to do it, and I don't want to do it now. And it's being able to do it for yourself and not even worry about anybody else, what anybody else thinks. This is for me. This is for me. And I hear that in your story about all the different things that you're doing for yourself. After work, you're going to go for a walk, you're getting out in nature, you're going to the gym. You have your community, you have your walking buddies, you have your wine group. That is so important, Marcia. So not just, we're talking about food and we're talking about exercise, but another important part of your healing is that sense of community. That loneliness can make you unhealthy, and you are building a community so that you could have that social aspect, you could have that support, and also that connection with other people. And that is so important, and you're already doing that.
For sure. Couldn't do without the community. I've been very, very, very fortunate to actually met good people who are now my friends through my fitness classes, whether it be yoga, boot camp, whatever I'm doing, cardio dance or whatever. Whatever, right? We hang out, do stuff like that. And it's just really good, because what happens is we even do stuff away from the class. Because I know one of my instructors, she used to she like pole dance. She's pole dancing. She said, let's book some studio time. Something fun. And I always tell people too, exercise don't have to be the same thing, because I like to do different things, because I don't like to reach a plateau.
Right. See, you just said it. It's doing things that you enjoy. That's when the magic happens. Doing things that you enjoy, that's when change is going to be made.
But it was like when I first started yoga. I didn't even think I was gonna be doing yoga for long as I've been doing yoga. I said, I'm gonna try for a minute. Because after Michael passed, I wanted to start doing more things, more of a mental workout than the physical. Okay. So let me start incorporating, little yoga. And I'm with the yoga. I was like, oh, I like this. And I've been going like religiously. And it was like, even during COVID, we went virtual for about 8 months. We went virtual. She took it in. For 9 months, she took it in. Yeah, so I had, my TV was good and everything, but I'm just saying, you're right, because I like to try different stuff. And then because I am a woman of color, and then I love to see all the women of color doing like yoga and stuff like that. Because, back in the day, I said, I ain't doing that shit for white people. You know what I mean? That's how ignorant I was. You know what I mean? Because people used to invite me to do yoga. I said, I ain't doing that. But for me, now I just tell people just just be open to things. Like I said,
Yes.
I mean, try it once. Like I said, it ain't for everybody, but if it ain't for you, ain't for you. And like I said, you ain't have to have a lot of stuff. If you just have yourself, just little things.
Yes.
Like you can go to Five Below and get a mat.
Yep. Yep.
I think
There's that
Five Below.
creativity. Yes.
You can get
Yes.
yourself a mat and just go on YouTube and just type in yoga. I mean, everybody keep thinking it's no excuse. It's what you want. When I first started boot camp in 2009, look, I couldn't run from here to into this computer screen. Like I can't, I can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my instructor, Mr. Mike, everybody was at the finish line. And I was, when you get, do you understand when you get that type of motive? I want to start crying because I always cry because who really, he had to care.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I'm thinking, I'm coming back. You know what I'm saying? And I'm friends with his family and all, his wife, his kids and all that, now I'm saying it's just good. And then Coach Sherman, I started going to him. I'm friends with, he and his wife. You know what I'm saying? It's really a community. And you saying community, honey, it's like, because when I even go to different events and before 2009 stuff, the only thing I was running was my mouth. Now I'm doing 5Ks.
Wow.
I said, you doing 5K? Oh, Lord. I said, Lord. And I say, I do my thing, y'all do y'all. I start out, walking, light jog, running slow. I was finishing. I was finishing decent for me. Everybody want to do your best time, your best self, your best way, in the way that works for you. Because I always tell people what work for me ain't gonna work for you.
Yep.
Vice versa. And I get that. I just say, just find a couple of things that you really like to do and stick with it. You know what I mean? And like said, walking is free.
Absolutely. I mean, you spoke about like two things that I want to touch upon is being open to trying new things, whether it's food or getting out and being around different people and trying different modalities with fitness and the mindset thing. And when you open yourself to that, you were able to find other people that have similarities. Like you and I, we have so much similarities, but we never would thought that we would have connected at all because we do live, we have different cultural backgrounds but we are the same and down to our core. And so you started surrounding yourself around, like you were bonding with these people that were supporting you and you were receiving that. And now you have these people around you and they say you are the 5 people that you hang around with.
Mm-hmm.
So who do you want to hang around with?
For sure. Yes, for sure. And it's just, you know what? It's just been it's been really rewarding. Like, I can't even describe like the words that, the feelings that I get eternally from being around such beautiful people and good spirit and good hearts. And last year I just signed up for an aquatics class because everybody kept saying, Miss Marcia, you gotta start doing water aerobics. I said, I ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? But they said because my friends were doing it. It's fun. You should try it. And I've done water aerobics. It just wasn't my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So back in November, I signed for a class. It was called hydro pole. I said, oh yeah, that's like doing a stripper pole. It's like a stripper pole class in the water.
Oh, yes. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yes.
How you like that?
Like, yeah, I go, yes, I'm gonna try it. But anyway, I did that, and it was just over a couple of weeks ago, so I'm kind of sad because it was over. And you know what? I did what I normally don't do. It was in the wintertime. I wasn't tripping off wet, and it was in the morning because you always rushing to get somewhere. You know what I mean? But I don't work that far from the aquatic center, and I had time. I said, just get out of bed and just go. You know what I'm saying? And I did it, and it was so rewarding. So now it's like and they have different types of aquatic classes. So I said I'm gonna look on online and see what they have next time. I said I will be adding water classes moving forward. I will be adding Aquatics classes. And I think with a lot of African American women, people of color, us African Americans, I want to get my hair wet and all that.
Mm.
So for me, I found a very nice swim cap a couple of years
There you
ago on
go.
Amazon, and my hair is just as dry as ever. And my hair don't even get wet. And I'm like, I get my hair done. I pay money to get my hair done. But now I'm not even tripping off that. And I'm trying to tell my black friend, don't be tripping off. I said, that's my new. Get yourself a nice cap. You good. I
Yeah.
said, just come. And I tell people, like I said again, I cannot talk about enough, people coming out of their comfort zone. Because it's like, oh my God, I'm like, this 2022. Trust me. I mean, come on, man. It's like 1980 or whatever. And I'm just saying, for me personally, things I do today, if you would have asked myself, you would have asked my younger self, look, check this out. Tofu, I ain't eating this, nice words. I'm not going, like my girlfriend say, I'm not going to use bad language on this platform. But I'm like, I ain't going to be eating no time with tofu. What? Let me tell you something. Now I cannot live without tofu. And was mad when Costco was sold out tofu the other week. What is this? But I found some at the international market. I mean, that's here nor there, but you know what I'm saying? Then I learned how to cook different things with tofu, because my food be better than Chinese people, than the Chinese restaurants. Because I like what I like, and then I start making. I said I could start, and I found some recipes and stuff like that, and I started making it. But again, it's just like I said, just be creative.
Yes.
Try stuff. And like I said, and then the time my baby they gonna like. I said, what your kids gonna like? You got to make it. You could do fun stuff that kids like, and you could cut up so thin they don't even know they eating it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and plus what you want. And see, getting back with the babies, y'all, too. Obesity is at an all-time high with these children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? And then children getting diabetes and all this shit. They getting diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. When you wasn't, I mean, I was a fat child, but the reason why I probably didn't have all the diseases because I was active, because we wasn't a slave to the video games. No, I mean, I grew up in the 70s. We were outside. Like it was 10 degrees outside. We'd be like, but we outside. What they call them, we do fitness class outside. We outside because we were outside. So for me, that's why I probably didn't get the
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right about that. Yes. Just being outside. I tell the girls, my daughters, I come on, get outside. Let's go. And once they're outside, they're having so much fun. Like today, we went for a walk, and actually it was like 50 degrees. That's abnormal for February in the Chicago area. That's abnormal. We went for a walk, and my youngest is like running around. I'm free. Like, and at first they didn't want to go for a walk with me, but you just got to get them out there and then let them be.
See how easy that was?
Yeah, and I let them walk in water, and normally I'm like, no, you can't walk in water, because that perfectionism in me, like everything's got to be nice and neat, and I'm trying to break that and let them be kids, because you're not making it fun when you're putting on the restrictions. Just let them be free.
Mm-hmm. For sure. You just have to, and then that's us. And then that way, if your children see your will, they're gonna want to do better too.
Yes.
It's really a trickle down effect, because what they don't want to see mommy and daddy sick, and mommy and daddy, unhappy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not at all. Yes.
We just have to, kind of, continue to do that, and just be present with them, and then just let them know this is what I'm doing to keep mommy well. This is keeping daddy well, because I think a lot of times children are very astute.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking sometimes y'all need to talk to children like children smart, children real smart. Sometimes I go to a child first, I say, the baby, they're gonna tell you the truth. You know what? Let me go to them. But it's just, children keep it 100, and I'm thinking just let, like you said, let them be, see how they had a good time, and it didn't cost you no financial. All they did, they got out. They got their endorphins going, everything was good. You got your endorphins going, your mind was right. You got the, you got to de-stress. You got to be out in the open, clear with nature, a different environment. Because and there's so many things you could do. People say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's so much stuff. You could do things vegan free, gluten free, nut free. Because I know I tell people all the time, my clients used to tell me, well, I have allergies. But what what I used to have my chef do when I used to work at the hotel, I said, can you come up with a nut free, vegan, vegetarian, like the cover all those bases? And he did. He came up with two entrees. Because you have to meet people where they are, and if some
Yes.
people, and I used to tell my friends and colleagues, I said, when people have nut allergies, that's real, because some people die from that. That's
Yeah.
fake. That means I don't discount anybody's allergies. I said, and some people have celiac disease. Some people
I
was on
do.
the train. Okay, see, some people were just on the train just because it was a fad for them. But I said, no, celiac disease is real. And
Mhm.
I said, when you go places, I used to have my clients, I said, any food allergies, what I need to know, let me know too. And everybody on this platform, please schedule yourself to do you. I'm sorry. I mean, because the same way you schedule yourself to go to meetings, the same way you schedule yourself to go to your children's school or
Yes.
sports activity or whatever, or dance, I mean, whatever y'all doing,
Yes.
take a few minutes. I'm like, even if it's only 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes more than what you were doing. And I said,
Yes.
you want to do more, add more gradually.
Yes.
You can do 30 for a couple of weeks, do 45, then 60. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just what it is. Like I said, start doing more family bonding together. Do more family workouts. Maybe go hiking, go walking. Just
Yeah.
grab everybody. Let's just do this. Find something that's good, that works for them. They'll stick to it. It's just getting people like in the door. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
oh my God, no, I ain't trying to do that. You like, and then sometimes you just have to push them in. Go on in. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, damn, this is good. And then you be like, damn, I'm fighting this order. I'm fighting. Why was I fighting all these years?
Yeah.
Then they be mad. Why was I fighting you all these years?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that?
I think yes, absolutely. But when they finally realize that, man, why did I fight you all these years? Also, they have to be kind to themselves. Like, well, wasn't ready, because you don't want to beat yourself up, because that's not the goal here. But I want to go back to what you said about scheduling your time. That is such a good advice, because we can all say, we're so busy, we just don't have time. We just don't have time. And that's what I had to do. I'm going to meet with a new friend through Zoom, and I said, here's my schedule link. Put in the schedule, because that forces me to set time aside to do this, because that connection and that community is very important, and I want to keep up with that. And we could, especially, like, I feel like with women especially, we'll give to everyone else and make sure that everyone else is taken care of, and then there's nothing left for us. So sometimes we have to schedule that in to, for one, clear the schedule, and two, you're committing to that time. Yeah. So you said that you were 59, right?
Yes,
You look amazing.
thank you.
I
Guys,
would never have guessed that.
I'll be 60 this year. So you know what? It's just I have zero beauty secrets. It's just it's I
Yeah,
just
you
tell
do. Is you're taking care of yourself.
I just say it's God and good genes. But you know what? It's just like I said, I have zero beauty secrets. It's just the standard things. I just really try to, like you said, just try to get my rest. I just can't, I don't like being tired and stuff. And I just
No.
really make sure I get my rest and things like that, because that's what keeps me going. But and like I said, you could be any age. You only have to be 59. You could be 19, 9 years old. If you want to change your life, you just need to go and make it happen.
Yes.
But for me, it came a little later in life. But sometimes I tell people it's better late than never. At least the fact that it
Yes.
happened, is a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're older, you did it, because a lot of people can have that mindset. Oh, I'm too old to try something new. I'm too old to make changes. No. You're never too old to do anything that you want to do.
That's if you want to do it. I look at my neighbor. My neighbor is 79. She looks amazing. She's just phenomenal. I'm like, she retired. When she retired, I mean, she just kept it going. I mean, she teaches tap. She does dance.
Oh,
She goes out of town. She does dance troops. She goes walking. She goes cycling. I mean, she does like everything.
wow.
I'm like, Gloja, you look fabulous. I'm like, I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. We all gonna be
Yes.
so again, I'm just want to give y'all a takeaway. Just think about how much money you save if you had to take less medicine.
Yeah.
Just think about you want to go. So you ain't been nowhere since COVID, really. You ain't really been on no vacation because you've been on lockdown. But just think, I could do something. I could
Yeah.
get this money. I had extra money. I have extra funds. We can actually go do things. You know what I mean? As
Yeah.
opposed to, kind of being stuck in that rut.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Marcia, for coming on the show and expressing yourself and your story. And you have given us so much good information that I hope people listen to this again, because there's so much information packed into this small time that you'll have to watch. I keep saying watching, but you can watch it if you're on YouTube, but listen to it over again, because every time you're going to listen, you're going to hear something new. And what Marcia tells you is really good information that will help move the needle for yourself. And you're never too old, never too young to start doing things for yourself. And before we go, can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Okay, so on Instagram, at Facebook, M is in Murray, B is in boy, Marcia Lee, both platforms. Twitter, the Marcia BL. Yeah, that's it. Like I said, you can always drop me a DM. You can put it like I said, you put it out there. I'm happy to answer any questions, comments that you may have. It was my pleasure being on the platform tonight, meeting so many fabulous people virtually, And I hope this was a good lesson. I hope this was a great takeaway. And I hope that you had as much fun and enjoyment as I did tonight.
I know I'm definitely going to listen to this. And we're all going to enjoy your message. And I know all of Marcia's information will be in the show notes. So it'll be all easy for you to find her and connect with her. But you do have a podcast.
Yes, it's coming up, my season, your reason. That'll be dropping. I should be dropping my first episode by the end of the month. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be putting on my platforms, and then you can share with everybody. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be doing health, wellness, and lifestyle issues. I'll be dropping my first episode I did on Saturday. It was called Cut the BS, Your Health, Your Choice. So I'll be as soon as that gets uploaded, I'll be sharing that, so you all can come back and listen to that too, and put your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on.
Awesome. So you're doing great things in the world. You are doing great things for yourself, but you're also giving back. You're sharing. It's like what you spoke about that really touched your heart, that you were trying not to cry about, when you spoke about the person that was you were doing a boot camp, right? And that you are becoming that person for everybody else on a huge platform. So you're going to be able to reach so many people.
That's the plan.
The plan.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're going to do so much good. And I'm so excited to watch you evolve, and you're going to do amazing. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.